Friends, today's stories are collection of short moral lessons that will teach important life skills like thinking smartly, seizing opportunities, avoiding shortcuts, and adapting to change and working hard for the future. So let's start with our stories today. It won't take you much time, but yes, it will make a larger impact on your life and the way of your thinking. So we will start with the first story. The first one is The Fisherman and the Businessman. A businessman was visiting a coastal village when he saw a fisherman returning with his catch. Curious, he asked, "How long does it take you to catch these fish?" "Not long," replied the fisherman. The businessman suggested, "Why don't you fish longer and catch more? Then you can sell the extra fish, save money, buy a bigger boat, hire workers, and eventually build a fishing empire. You will make a fortune, retire rich, and then you can relax and enjoy life." The fisherman smiled and said, "But I already do that. I fish a little, then I go home, spend time with my family, play music, and enjoy my life. Why should I wait for years to live the life I already have?" So, friends, the lesson from this story is success is not about working endlessly. Sometimes happiness lies in simplicity. A second story is The Lost Pebble of Gold. A young man once sought wisdom from a guru on how to become wealthy. The guru took him to a place filled with pebbles and said, "One of these stones has the power to turn anything into gold. Its only difference is that it will feel slightly warm in your hand. Keep searching for it." The young man began picking up pebbles, feeling them for warmth and throwing them into the sea if they were cold. Months passed, and one day he finally held the magical warm pebble. But out of habit, he threw it into the sea before realizing his mistake. So, the lesson from this story is that taking small things lightly can become a habit, and one day you might unknowingly discard a life-changing opportunity. Treat every moment as important. Third story is The Broken Truck. A struggling restaurant owner told his customers, "I don't invest much in restaurant because my real income comes from my transport business." One day, an unknown man secretly damaged his truck beyond repair. With no choice but to focus on his restaurant, the owner improved it, changed its menu, and offered better service. Years later, it became the most successful eatery in that region. The lesson learned from this story is sometimes what you think is holding you up might actually be holding you back. Identify what's stopping you from reaching your full potential. Our next story is The Fake Doctor. A man wanted to become a doctor but didn't want to study. He used bribes to pass exams and open a hospital. One day, a critical patient arrived, but he had no real medical knowledge. The patient died due to his mistakes. When he stepped outside to break the news to his family, he saw that the man who had passed him through bribery was his own father. So, the lesson learned is taking shortcuts might give you success, but if you are not prepared, it can lead to disaster. Always work hard and earn your achievements. Our next story is The King and the Green World. A king developed an eye condition where seeing anything other than green caused him pain. He ordered his kingdom to be painted green, buildings, roads, everything in green. A wise man visited and said, King, Your Majesty, instead of painting the world green, why not just wear green glasses? So the lesson learned is, instead of trying to change everything around you, change your perspective first. The next story is The Locked Door. A legendary locksmith was challenged to escape from a seemingly impossible lock. He worked tirelessly, trying every trick he knew, but failed. Finally, he admitted defeat. The challengers then revealed that the door had never been locked in the first place. It was just stuck. So, sometimes we overcomplicate things and miss simple solutions that are right in front of us. So, friends, keep your mind open. The next story is The Kingdom That Transformed. In a kingdom, a new ruler was chosen every 5 years. At the end of their term, they were sent to a dangerous jungle where they would be left to survive alone. One new king, instead of enjoying his 5 years of power like the others, started preparing the jungle. He cleared the trees, built houses, and made the land livable. By the time his rule ended, he was not being exiled to the jungle, but moving into a thriving new city that he had created. So, friends, plan for the future while you have the power to do so. Our last story is about the businessman's dilemma. In 1890, a businessman suffered a huge loss and had to take a loan. Unfortunately, he couldn't repay it, and the lender, an old man, refused to wait any longer. The lender, claiming he needed the money for his daughter's wedding, made an unusual offer. He would forgive the debt if the businessman married his daughter to him. The businessman refused outright. The old man then proposed a game. He would place 2 stones, one black, one white, into a small bag. If the businessman's daughter picked the white stone, the debt would be forgiven and no marriage would be required. If she picked the black stone, the debt would still be forgiven, but she would have to marry him. With no other option, the businessman and his daughter agreed. However, the girl noticed that the old man had secretly placed 2 black stones in the bag. If she refused to play, the debt would remain, and if she exposed him, he might seek revenge. Thinking quickly, she picked a stone but accidentally dropped it onto the ground, where many black and white stones lay scattered. She then said, "Let's check the remaining stone in the bag to determine what I must have picked." The old man had no choice but to reveal the remaining black stone. The villagers concluded that the dropped stone must have been the white, and so the debt was forgiven without any forced marriage. Wow! So the lesson learned is, sometimes the best way to deal with a tough situation is to think creatively and outsmart the problem rather than confronting it directly. So friends, I hope you like all these stories. These stories will definitely change your mind and leave you thinking. See you in the next story. Until then, Take care, stay aware, and keep growing. And yes, don't forget to subscribe our channel for more such stories. Thank you.